Sharks Billiards Championship Week.
Back show, I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Datangkalaw.
Glad to have you back, partner. And here's tonight's play-by-play.
Ramiro, the show by Mamoy leaves, let it! Victor Moves puts it on. Unbelievable! Gemma on the left side. Oh, the pass! Stuffing another one! Bacunas rejecting Estevo for the win.
The Miami Heat go on a rampage to decimate the struggling Los Angeles Lakers. No typo here. The final score is 134-93. The 41-point margin of victory is the third largest in Miami Heat history. The team also tied a franchise best 24 three-pointers and set a new franchise record with 42 assists. Tyler Hero put on his shooting clinic, dropping 31 points, including 9 triples. Hero was on a heater in the third period, getting 21 markers to help Miami outscore LA 36-20. LeBron James did break out of his shooting slump, scoring 29 points on 12 for 18 shooting. Despite that, though, the Lakers' woes continue after losing 6 of their last 8 outings, the last 2 by a combined 70-point gap. The Lakers' record drops to 12 victories and 10 defeats, while the Heat rise to an even 500 with 10 wins and as many losses. Top scorer Tyler Hero spoke about Miami's resolve this season.
I think, there's, like you said, there's been highs and lows throughout the season. Even the games we've lost, a couple of them we had double-digit leads going into the third quarter. So, I mean, we just got to stick with it. Being consistent is our main thing right now. Trying to put a full 48-minute game together is key for us. It's early on, but, the teams that have separated themselves in the standings have done that from the very beginning. So, we have to continue to find our identity while we get wins. I think we can learn a lot, even in the wins. We can win games ugly. We've done it all 5 years and that I've been here. So, there's games that we can win ugly and still watch film and learn from them and try to get better.
Even more heartbreak for LA as the Clippers suffer their own blowout loss against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Final score here, 108-80, with the Wolves getting their third straight win. Minnesota forward Julius Randle led all scorers with 20 points, all of which came in the first half. Anthony Edwards added 16 markers. The lopsided game also opened an opportunity for bench player Josh Minott. Seizing the moment, the third-year Cager dropped a career-high 13 points in almost 21 minutes of play. The Wolves are now above 500 with 11 wins and 10 losses. The Clippers settle for a 14-10 win-loss slate after seeing their 9-game home winning streak come to an end.
Now, how about a showdown between two of the hottest teams in the NBA? The Atlanta Hawks taking down the Milwaukee Bucks here, 119-104. The Hawks have now stringed 5 victories while halting the Bucks' own winning streak at 7 games. Jalen Johnson led the way for the visiting Hawks, scoring a team-high 23 points to go along with 13 rebounds and 5 assists. Atlanta's bench played a crucial role here as well, turning in 50 markers led by DeAndre Hunter's 20. The Hawks survived a huge outing from Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo, who finished with 31 points and 11 boards. The Hawks soar to the 6th spot in the East with a record of 12 victories and 11 defeats. Only one loss separates them from the 5th-seeded Bucks. After the game, Atlanta head coach Quinn Snyder spoke about his squad's winning formula.
What I see is that when we turn the ball over early, we don't give ourselves a chance to defend. And, that's the biggest issue. And then sometimes you don't make shots, and if you're turning it over and they're scoring and you're making shots, it's not as slow a start. But, I think as much as anything, when we're defending, that's the ticket. Whether it's the beginning of the first quarter or third quarter, end of the game. We just got to really commit to guarding, and that allows us to try to get out in transition.
6 more NBA teams saw action today. Here's how those games went. Franz Wagner powers the Orlando Magic with 35 points for a 106-102 win over the Philadelphia 76ers. The Brooklyn Nets end a 3-game skid after a 99-90 beating of the Indiana Pacers. And lastly, the defending champions Boston Celtics chalk up their 9th win in 10 games after taking down the Detroit Pistons 130-120.
Meanwhile, some trouble in the Valley as the Phoenix Suns will be without star forward Kevin Durant for at least a week due to a left ankle sprain. Durant stepped on the foot of the Spurs' Julian Champagny in the second quarter of the Suns' 104-93 win over San Antonio on Wednesday. The 2014 most valuable player will be then re-evaluated after next week. KD had just returned to the hard court after a left calf strain kept him out for 11 days last month. This will be a big blow to Phoenix as the squad carries an 11-2 win-loss record with Durant in the lineup. Overall, they're currently at 12-8 for 6th in the West. The two-time champion is averaging close to 26 points, 7 boards, and 3 assists this season.
Let's head over to the PBA. Rain or Shine Elasto Painters head coach Yang Giao is a master of pep talk, and he has a very specific way of doing it. The veteran coach himself reveals he had some choice words when he tried to keep Rain or Shine going in the 4th against guest team Hong Kong Eastern last night. With a threat of an Eastern comeback looming, the Elasto Painters pulled away for good in the payoff period to secure a 99-81 win. Rain or Shine outscored Eastern in the process 29-17 to bounce back from a sorry loss to Meralco in their opening game. Not to be forgotten too was the stellar debut of import Dion Thompson, something Yao pointed out post-game. The American Ivorian reinforcement put up team highs of 21 points, 15 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks.
Yung usual na sinasabi ko lang, sabi ko mga PI kayo, pag di kayo ng trabaho rito, masisiro to tayo, patay na naman tayo niyan. So, yun lang sinasabi ko sa kanila. Alam na nila yun. Wala pa siya 1 linggo, actually. No? So, he changes the chemistry, no, for the better. Mas maganda yung ikot ng bola, tapos galing yan dumipensa. No? So, he's giving us also the rebounds that we needed. He's got an inside game, he's got an outside game. Medyo malas pa nga siya sa labas no? Pero tingin ko, pag lumabas na yung tunay na laro niya, mas magiging problema siya ng ibang teams.
After a day off today, the PBA Commissioner's Cup resumes tomorrow with another doubleheader. First up will be the Meralco Bolts and the Terra Firma Jeep. That will be at 5 in the afternoon. Both squads are expected to parade new imports here, with Meralco replacing the injured Akil Mitchell with DJ Kennedy. The Bolts previously fielded Kennedy in the East Asia Super League, or EASL. As for the Jeep, well, they've sent home Ryan Richards, and they will bring in Brandon Edwards, who was supposed to play in the Governor's Cup but unfortunately suffered an injury. Then at 7:30 p.m., guest team Hong Kong Eastern will try to quickly bounce back from their loss to the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters last night. But in the way are Ronde Hollis Jefferson and the most recent PBA champions TNT Tropang Giga. Both games will be at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium in Manila, but you can also catch them live, of course, on PBA Rush, RPTV, and the Pilipinas Live app. Now, how about some intense pool action after the break? Well, we'll be speaking with Sharks Billiards Association founder Hadley Mariano and managing director George Ho, as well as Demosthenes Pulpul and Rodrigo Geronimo of the Taguig Stallions on the upcoming SBA Championship Week. Stay tuned for that and more. Play-by-play. We'll be right back, only here on One News. back. Thank you for joining us here only on Play-by-Play on One News. The Sharks Billiards Association Czech is gearing up for its championship week that's happening from December 16 until the 20th at the Sharks Arena in Quezon City. I heard it's a beautiful arena. I haven't been though, but this milestone event will showcase the country's top billiards players in 5 days of very fierce competition.
The players will also play for the league's first ever championship within the esteemed Chino Trinidad Trophy. Joining us live in the studio to talk about the league's championship week, we have with us Sharks Billiards Association founder Hadley Mariano and managing director George Ho, as well as Demosthenes Pulpol and Rodrigo Geronimo of the Taguig Stallions. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on
Magandang
Play-by-Play.
gabi. Thank you so much. Hadley, good to see you again.
Good evening, good evening.
Good to see you. Yeah, last time I saw him, it was still for a different network, different show, but good to have you again and see you here on Play-by-Play on One News. And George, it's a pleasure. Czech and I were talking about how, for you to visit us, it's an honor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you,
Really
George.
appreciate
And sa inyong dalawa, maraming salamat. Kay Plong Plong at kay Edgy. Magandang gabi.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat. Kamusta? Okay naman? Okay naman kayo? Okay.
All right, so we can start with Hadley because syempre kailangan natin malaman, what are you most excited for? Ang lapit na. The SBA Championship Week is approaching.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm very excited to watch the Taguig Stallions against their opponent. So, of course, this is the culmination of the inaugural season of SBA. That's why it's very exciting. Actually, I haven't slept in 3 days, I think. So, I'm excited to sleep after the finals.
Can you say it's all set na? Like 100% ironed out, everything is all ready?
You can never be too sure, you know.
I like that, yeah.
Minsan last moments may nagkakamali. So it's better to be just prepared for anything.
Yeah, you're right. George, let's go to you. So we talk about this amazing league that you have and what you've built here, the SBA, Sharks Billiards Association, with a lot of trash talking going. It's generating a lot of buzz. But what are your goals? Like you have for the SBA in terms of, the growth of the sport, one, and also global recognition in the coming years, because it has a lot of promise.
Right. So I think most people in the pool world know that the Philippines has the best players in the world and the deepest pool of talent, right? Growing up in Chicago, when I started playing pool in the 90s, I'd already heard about Efren Reyes, right? There wasn't any YouTube yet, but I'd already heard about him. Our goal is, we feel like, pool is having a second renaissance right now, and our goal is to try to grow this league, right? The first season is more of a showcase. It's a proof of concept to the market, right? That this concept works. We want to grow the league, as large as possible. We want to add new teams. In fact, Hadley and I this weekend, we're going to be meeting with potential team owners.
Wow.
Our draft had 100 players participate, but we can only draft 20. Right?
100?
Okay.
Yeah, but we can only draft 20. So just right there, you can see with a roster of 5 teams, that can fulfill a 20-team league, right? So we do have very big ambitions, but we're taking it one step at a time.
Yeah, there's a process, and at
Tough
least
competition out there too, huh?
Yeah, and you need more teams. If you need someone to fund the teams, my partner right here, Cheska Liton Calao, he can fund the team.
She can be
I can be her star player.
owner player.
She's nodding.
I
Maybe
will
not.
play for pizza. Sige. Demosthenes, kay Plong Plong tayo.
Yeah.
Kay Plong Plong na mahilig pala magtumambling. Pero syempre kailangan natin pag-usapan yung mga preparations ninyo. Malapit na nga magsimula. So, kamusta yung preparations and then, ano naman yung mindset ninyo na papasok into the competition?
Yung team, yung sa team namin, ma'am, every week may kami, 3 days training yung practice namin.
Tatlong araw ba?
3 araw po. Tapos, sabi ni coach naman, enjoy lang yung sa championship namin sa final namin po.
Yung importante kasi yung mag-enjoy ka rin.
Yeah. Nabanggit na nga ni Check yung tumbling mo. Pinapractice mo ba yan? Mga pagtatumbling mo sa laro?
Bastok lang po. Bawal yung tumbling. Baka malian tayo, hindi makalaro.
Pero pinapractice nyo yun? Hindi nga, dahil kakaiba to ha. For those who don't know, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first ever that trash talking is allowed. Because usually it's like a gentleman sport. You can't, right?
It's usually quiet.
Correct. So, do you guys, ikaw, pinapractice nyo ba yun kung ano yung sasabihin mo sa kalaban mo?
kusa lang pong ano eh.
Lumalabas.
Lumalabas sa ano, actual.
Talagang kusa ka lang, alaskador.
Kung anong ano lang.
Lumabas yung totoo.
Sample, ano mga sinasabi mo yung mga nakakatawa na ano? Sample. Kunyari, titira yung kalaban, no?
Mahirap.
Hindi, sample, kunyari, ano naisip mo?
Kailangan
Yung mga
yata
nasabi mo?
nasa game
Oo.
mode siya.
O, game mode.
Yung ano,
Oh.
yung apichi.
Ni Bruno Mars pati ni Rose. Gumanong ka? Talaga? Okay. Ito naman si...
Sumasayaw yan.
Oh, Edgy, ikaw naman. Anong masasabi mo naman, syempre, itong kinagandahan ng liga na to? Dahil 26 years ka na naglalaro. Ano masasabi mo dito sa success nitong SBA?
Nung una kasi parang nalilito pa ako sa Sharking eh. Ngayon, dahil sa SBA, lumalakas lalo yung loob ko, tapos na ano ko yung pag-focus sa laro. Game. Kaya malaki na itutulong sa amin.
Actually, George, a while ago when we were talking off camera, you were saying something about like sharking and the support of the community and how things are changing. You're making some changes?
So, just to clarify, I think the pool community sort of confuses sharking with only trash talking, right? So sharking is not purely trash talking. It's more, it's everything. It's fan interaction, it's fans cheering, it's players, fist bumping, high fiving the audience, and the sharking is a pool term because in every other sport, that phenomenon already exists and it's already accepted. Like, can you imagine playing basketball and every time someone shoots, it's complete silence? Like, you wouldn't see that, right? And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring more fans to the sport. Leagues, different sports leagues all across the world, they've all made changes to formats, to rules. Most recently, Live Golf, right? They've really disrupted the sport of golf. And the initial reaction was a lot of advocates and a lot of detractors, right? 2 years later, they've been doing pretty well, right? And pool is so accessible, right? Anybody who's ever been in a bar has probably touched a cue stick, right? You don't need to find 5 or 10 people to play a game. You just find one friend. You don't need special equipment. Anything you need is already at the pool hall, right? But why is it not as mainstream, right? I don't get it. If my team is winning and I want to cheer, why can't I cheer? If the opposing team scratches, why can't I be happy about that, right? That happens in all sports. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get more fans, and the diehard fans are always going to watch, right? But we're trying to get more casual fans because we love the sport so much, and we want to make sure we want to do what we can to help grow the sport, not just in the Philippines, but all over the world.
Good point. Sorry, George, I wish we had more time and Hadley, but we'll give, Czech and I will give your players probably the last question to answer, and also give a message. Ano pa mga kailangan abangan ng mga mahilig magbilyar? Alam naman natin mga Pilipino, ang hilig sa bilyar. Kahit sa kanto meron yan. Yan. Nabanggit na nga ni George. Efren Batares, The Magician, ang dami magagaling. Anong gusto nyo sabihin at imbitahan nyo? Sino? Edgy? Plong. Edgy, hindi ka masyadong salita eh. Trash talking.
I-invite ko lang sana lahat ng fans namin, pati kapitbahay namin.
May utang ba sa'yo?
I-invite ko lang sila. Masarap kasing manood sa live kesa sa cellphone or sa...
Iba kasing experience,
iba yung
di ba? And
Kasi may trash talking.
Si Czech, imbitahan mo si Cheska na manood.
Yes, manood ko
niya,
doon.
oo.
Pwede, kung open ang schedule ko, manonood ako.
Yan.
Hindi, kasi hilig talaga natin yun eh.
Yes.
Siyempre, lahat naman, as mentioned nga, lahat naman ng Filipino, pag may nakitang pool hall, matututo, maglalaro with friends. So, siyempre
Masaya.
sana supportahan natin sila, di ba?
Plong, wala ka na gusto sabihin?
Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, manood po kayo ng SBA. Salamat sa sumuporta ng SBA sa buong Pilipinas po. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Paano yung APT mo? APT.
Okay.
Ginagawa niya yan. Ginagawa yung APT. Pan-distract daw sa kalaban. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Sharks Billiards Association founder Hadley Mariano and Managing Director George Ho, as well as Demosthenes Pulpol and Rodrigo Geronimo of the Taguig Stallions.
Thank you so much. Can you do that? Can you also do that? Galing.
After the break, the Farm Fresh Foxies and Petrogas Angels score back-to-back wins in the PVL All-Filipino Conference. The details on that and more when Play-by-Play returns.